Hello guys, welcome to my channel, Wifed Up Coach. Welcome to another video on my channel, and today I'm to be talking about something that has become very near and dear to me and has really helped me to tune into my femininity. Now, when I talk to my private clients, I definitely talk to them about spirituality, their most authentic selves, and releasing the past and opening up to love and that type of thing. So one thing that I have discovered that has really helped me to really tune into that feminine energy is to get in tune and use and meditate with crystals, with gemstones. So there are so many different crystals, there's so many gemstones out there, and they all have unique properties that um, coincide with, whatever you may be going through or intentions. But for the sake of this, there are specific gemstones that are heart related and that embody feminine energy so gracefully. So I'm going to go over 3 of them today, and I will say at the end where you can find them, um, or maybe I'll put the link in the description where you can get some gemstones. But the reason why these crystals and gemstones and things like that are really important because they help you to look inside of yourself. A lot of times when we're trying to embody femininity or change our lives for the better in any type of capacity, we try to change things on the outside. We try to, you know, work harder or try to talk to someone more or do put in more work and effort into a relationship or something like that instead of making the change within ourselves. And I'm a big, big, big believer that if you want something to change on the um, outside, you have to make the change on the inside. So by tuning into your feminine essence, you will realize that when you change, everyone on the outside changes, right? Now, does it always mean that people will change and be exactly how you want them to be, or relationships will magically get better? Not necessarily. So, people will change for the better sometimes, and maybe the relationship will get better. Or sometimes, when you change, people will be removed out of your life, right? Because they no longer fit there, and they no longer have a space. So I always feel like it's a win-win situation no matter what happens. So whether that person responds positively to your change, your feminine energy, and they, the relationship improves, great. But if it doesn't and it gets worse or it stays the same, then generally what will happen is either you will want to remove them from your life or they will remove themselves from your life. And in that essence, anything that's meant to be yours, you will never lose. So if someone walks out of your life, then that means that they're not meant to be there, right? So that is the power of getting into meditating. I talk about meditating a lot because it really stills your spirit and it stills your ego. And you guys know that I talk about the ego a lot. But when you meditate, it really stills your ego, quiets your ego, and it really helps you get in tune with your spiritual self, right? So as a woman, we're very highly intuitive creatures, and being intuitive is really a feminine thing because it's about being in tune with your natural um, spirit. It's about being in tune with your feelings, being in tune with your heart. And when you listen to your heart, it never ever leads you astray, right? So a lot of times we have a lot of conflict, because our heart might tell us something, but then our brain tells us something else, and then we kind of confuse the messages, you know. So when you do those type of things, you kind of get confused. But if you always listen to your heart, then you're always in feminine energy. So I'm going to go over the 3 crystals that I use during meditation to really help me get in tune with my feminine energy and to really meditate and calm the ego. It helps me get in tune with feminine characteristics such as love, compassion, understanding, acceptance, self-forgiveness, and a lot of host of other feminine characteristics. Okay, so I'm going to also show them, so hopefully the camera is. Okay, so the first stone that I really like, one of my favorites, is Rhodochrosite. So it's this stone here. Oh, the camera's so dark. Okay, I don't know if you can see it. See it? Okay, so you can look at it, it's called Rhodochrosite. So this stone is a very gentle, loving energy stone. It's really more about self-love. Like, a lot of women struggle with loving themselves, being in tune with themselves and loving themselves. A lot of women have very failed relationships over and over again because they're looking for love outside of themselves instead of looking for love inside of yourself, or already having love within. And I always say you can never receive something that you don't already have. So this stone, rhodochrosite, is very important because it helps you to love yourself, have compassion for yourself, have understanding for yourself, right? To get in tune with your own feminine energy. It also balances any negative emotions you have, especially emotions such as anger or resentment. Um, Bitterness also. So those type of emotions stop you from being vulnerable. And vulnerability is really one of the keys to femininity, right? So allowing yourself to be open, right? So when you're bitter, angry, or resentful at a past situation or a past love, you really close your heart off to present love, right? And so a lot of times what you need to do is forgive yourself and forgive that other person. And a lot of times, more than anything, we need to forgive ourselves. So Rhodochrosite is really good with that. It also has a very gentle, calming, sweet spirit about it. Also is in the field of unconditional love, which is a universal energy. And it helps you to stay soft and gentle and reserved, and um, have a very quietness about you. Not quietness as in you don't talk, but quietness as in gentleness, you know. Um, so it keeps you to kind of like, a lot of times if you're a person who's very anxious or high strung, or you get riled up very easily, this is a good crystal to kind of have and kind of sit with and meditate with, because it calms you down. It's a very good calming stone. So, and if anyone is kind of confused about the power of crystals, I really don't want to go into that too much to make this video too long, but definitely look them up, because they definitely have um, properties that really calm your inner spirit. So, and soothe your mind, body, and spirit. So this one, rhodochrosite, once again, it's a heart stone. It's for the heart and the feelings. And one reason why it's feminine, it really helps you get into feminine energy, is because feminine energy is all about getting in tune with your heart space, right? And it's all about being in the flow. And so in order to be in the flow, you have to have an open spirit. You have to have an open um, heart, you know. And a lot of times we need to forgive ourselves more than anyone else. A lot of times women are beating themselves up for things that they did or said, or I wish I could have did this better. I wish I could have did that. years and years ago, and it's gone, and you need to let it go, right? So this is a great stone to meditate with and just focus on releasing that pain and that resentment and that anger from the past. And that way you'll be that much closer to opening yourself up to love, unconditional romantic love. So this stone also teaches self-love too, which, as I stated earlier, it's very much about self-love, self-compassion, and self-forgiveness, right? So this stone, crystal, gemstone, focuses on you loving you forgiving you accepting you feeling the best about you, right? Because it always begins with you. It's a circle. As I said earlier, the more intuitive love you have, the more love you will radiate, and the more love you will receive. You can never get anything that you don't already have inside of you. You have to resonate with it. So this stone will help you resonate with it within yourself. So this is Rhodochrosite again, guys. So I'll put it up here. You can see it. Okay. So then another stone. So stone number 2 is Rhodonite. Rhodonite. So this is also a heart stone, and it also has pinks in. Okay, so let me go back to this one. So obviously this stone has pink in it, right? And we know that pink is a very feminine, gentle color. Pink is kind of represented of femininity, right? So this is a pink stone. So most pink stones are very feminine. So this stone here, Rhodonite, has pink inside of it. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's kind of dark. Let me move it back. Okay, there you go. So you can see like that has pink properties within it. You see that? So that has very calming energy, right? So rhodonite is kind of like on the order of rhodochrosite when it helps you to remove negative feelings and emotions, and it really helps you when you're feeling low. Like if you're feeling like kind of depressed or feeling like um, if you're feeling like you want to give up, if you're like, I've been on so many dates, I've been on dates and dates and dates, and um, you know, nothing is coming of it. Everyone is kind of ghosting me or withdrawing, or there's no real connection, or there's no date number 2, date number 3, or you just feel like you're just not progressing. I hear a lot of women like, oh, I'm getting very discouraged. Um, like I'm going on dates, but nothing's happening, and I'm getting older, and I want to get married, and all these other things. And this stone right here, Rhodonite, will really help you with that, because it's really good when you're feeling low and you're feeling like you want to give up, right? So when you meditate with this, and I will talk about how to meditate a little bit, but it's a very extensive thing, and I'm not the best person at it, so I encourage you to also research how to meditate properly. But when you meditate or focus on the energy in the stone, it definitely calms you down. It keeps you very calm and focused. And it really reminds you that there's so much beauty in life that you don't need to give up, to keep on trekking, keep on keeping on, right? So, so it clears up any blockages you have. So as I spoke about in the heart area, um, so one of the things, as I stated earlier, about being feminine is you have to be open to vulnerability. You have to be open to being vulnerable. You have to be comfortable with who you are as a woman. You have to be comfortable with seeing that, with men seeing that, right? And them seeing the good parts of you and the parts that you don't think are so great, right? So that's what vulnerability is about. It's about showing the parts of you that you don't think are so great, and allowing a man to fall in love with that, right? Because when he falls in love with the parts of you that are not so great, he's in love with your entire person, your entire being. So, and a lot of times women have been hurt so much, like I spoke about forgiveness and resentment and bitterness. They have these emotions that have covered their hearts. So their heart is very cold, and they're very suspicious of people and men and things like that. And so this stone really helps you to release those blockages of anger and resentment by using it when you meditate and things like that. Um, it opens you up for emotional healing. So if you have any like traumatic experiences around love in the past, it's a very good stone. And this, once again, all ties into femininity because in order to be your most feminine self, you have to be open. You have to be open. You have to be open. I want to say that one more time. You have to be open. You can't be closed off. You can't hide who you are. You can't be untrusting. You can't be, you can't have walls up, right? You can't be like, all men are this way, all men are that way, so I'm going to do this. You can't have that type of energy, right? You have to be open. So this stone right here, Rhodonite, trying to make sure there's a good lighting on it. But definitely Google these Rhodonite. And I will put them in the description so you can see them. But it has a very nice purple, and then the pink part is really what you want to focus on because that's the calming feminine energy. So, and it's also a stone that's really good if you're already in a romantic relationship or you're dating someone and you seem to find that you have a lot of conflict with that person, and you can't connect with them. So this stone is really about, now this isn't necessarily saying the stone is going to change the person or change the dynamic, but it will change your perspective, right? So it'll help you to feel more understanding and accepting maybe of their viewpoints so that you can come from a place of resolution instead of conflict. To, I guess, see both sides of the story. Because a lot of times we get in our ego and we only want to see our sides, and we're like, well, they just need to understand me, they just need to understand me, they need to understand where I'm coming from, right? And so when you get that kind of thing, it definitely comes from the ego, but it closes off your heart and closes off connection, right? And so this stone will help you, if you meditate with it on a regular basis, is to open you up to see things from other people's point of view, which gives you the spirit of compassion. And compassion is a very feminine characteristic. So, Rhodonite. Okay, so then my favorite stone is rose quartz. Rose quartz. So this is the third stone, and this is my favorite, absolute favorite stone, rose quartz. Lots of people know this stone. This is a very popular crystal gemstone, rose quartz. I actually have pretty much all of my jewelry is rose quartz because I absolutely love this stone, and the people in my life know that I love it. So they have gifted me with rose quartz jewelry. This ring is rose quartz, my necklace. So this is the absolute mother of all love stones and the embodiment of feminine energy in crystal gemstone form. This has a very calming pink energy. Let me bring it back so you can see the pinkness of the stone. Right? So it has a very calming pink energy. This is the stone of love. It's the stone of unconditional love. So it really helps you to tap into that universal energy of love. And it really, all these stones are really about staying in a very calm, feminine, flowing place. If you haven't figured it out yet, feminine energy is about being calm, flowing, and vulnerable, and being in tune with your heart. So all of these stones so far are heart stones. They connect with your heart space to heal wounds from the past and to bring you presently into a state of love. So if you are in a relationship with someone or trying to build a connection with someone, this is a great stone to use when you're meditating because it will put you in a place of, take you from your ego and put you in a place of wanting to build connection, kind of like Rhodonite. Except this is not just with romantic love. This is a universal stone, so it works with, any type of relationship, whether it's a family member relationship or a friendship, right? So this rose quartz is great for that. This also is a great stone for self-love and self-forgiveness. If you harbor any resentment toward yourself, shame, guilt, um, anything like that. If you feel ashamed of yourself for something, you feel guilty for something you did in your past, you feel like you can't move on because you've hurt someone or you used someone or manipulative or something like that, this is a good stone to um, have in your presence or around you, because it helps you to have compassion, allow you to just let it go. One thing I would say about feminine energy is really being in a perpetual state of letting go. And what I mean by letting go is being in the flow. When you let things go and you let things just happen as they are, you are in the flow, right? You're not trying to hold on to anyone, or you're not trying to hold on to anything or situation. You just kind of let things flow in and out of your life. And does that mean that you allow things to happen to you that you don't like, or you don't speak up or things like that? Of course not. But what it means is that you're not trying to control anything. And if you are in my Feminine Lounge this month, I talk all about letting go of control and how that keeps you in your feminine energy. Because when you are trying to control something, you're in your ego and your resistance. And a lot of times you are keeping things away from you by trying to control them, because things come to you most 100% of the time. Maybe I should say that. 99.9% of the time, things that you want come to you when you least expect it and when you have given up on trying to make it happen, right? And so that's a very feminine place to be, is when you have given up and you've surrendered to whatever higher power you may believe in, or if you don't believe in one, you're just giving it up to life or circumstances, and then that's when things are able to flow. So this stone right here reminds you to just stay in the flow and to surrender and to let go. And so if you have a problem with trusting, if you have a hard time trusting other people, trusting yourself even, if you have just a general distrust about life, you feel like people are always out to get you, or men are always out to get you in some type of way or use you, this is a good stone to have, because it will help you to, um, over time, restore trust in humanity in general. So, also, on the same note, if you have a fear or suspicion about men, if you feel like, okay, all men just want sex, all men just want to play games, um, men don't want to get married, if you just have like some type of fear around love, or you're just very suspicious and paranoid about love in some type of way, this is a good stone to have to use, and meditate on the calming energy of it, because it will help you to realize that, um, as I always say, every person is yourself pushed out. So if you have a general fear or suspicion about people, then people will reflect that. People are mirrors, and there is no greater mirror than a relationship. So relationships are always mirroring back what you believe, and especially what you believe about yourself. So Um, generally, people who are fearful or suspicious of others are in some ways suspicious and don't trust themselves, right? So maybe you don't have boundaries in place, you don't have standards in place, and so you know that you can't trust yourself, so you kind of deflect that out onto others, right? So you generally don't have a trust in men. You want that connection, but you don't know how to build it because you don't trust them, right? And as much as they say, the saying goes like trust and respect and things like that are earned, really that's not true. Um, you should always trust yourself, and then when you trust yourself, you will naturally attract trustworthy people into your life. But this is the thing: if you do so happen to attract someone in your life who is not trustworthy, in some ways they're a liar, or they cheat you in some way, or they're manipulative or something like that, as long as you trust yourself, you don't really have to worry about trusting other people, because the moment that you see that this person is overstepping a boundary or something like that you have in place, then you will be able to act accordingly in the situation. So maybe if that's having a conversation with them, a heart to heart about the situation, or if it's extreme and it's redundant with them, maybe removing them from your life, right? So you don't have to worry about trusting them. So it's just, this stone right here is just a good stone, because it helps you to, it's pink, right? So pink is embodiment of feminine energy, and it helps you to really remain in a state of love, giving love, receiving love, and being open to love. You cannot receive anything that you're not open to, right? You know, as they say, if your fist is closed, you can't get anything inside of it. But once you open your fist, right, you can pick things up. I can pick this glass up. I can pick this pen up, right? I can receive things into my hand because it's open. But when it's closed, nothing can come in, right? So this is, a lot of people, a lot of women's heart is closed. It's closed with resentment, it's closed with bitterness, it's closed with anger, it's closed with looking back at the past and not looking forward. And they wonder why they keep on meeting men who are trying to, you know, they want to make a connection, but they're not able to, because they keep on hitting a closed hand. There's nothing that they can give you, because your hand represents your heart in this metaphor that I'm giving you. So your hand represents your heart. So your heart is closed. So you're not able to receive love, because you're closed off to it, right? So your heart is closed off. So you will meet people, you meet men especially, who will not want to give you love, nor can they give you love. So you meet a lot of emotionally damaged men, unavailable men, men who are just about playing games, just about casual sex, things like that, because you are closed off, right? So you're not going to meet a man who is open to love, because you're not open to love, right? Because you cannot receive anything in this hand because it's closed. So you have to open it. You have to open it. Open your hands, open your heart. And all these three crystals I've given you really help you to open your heart. Now, a lot of people don't believe in the power of crystals, and I'm not going to lie, I was skeptical at one point until I got, oh, what flowers are these? These are carnations. Carnations are also a very feminine flower. And I'm all about having feminine things in your environment. They also help you to stay in your feminine energy. I'm all about decorating your space. So my workspace embodies a lot of feminine energy. So I keep flowers in my, in my area, my workspace, because flowers are a very feminine thing, and the color pink is feminine. So I keep femininity in my environment to remind me to stay in my femininity. So, and plants are alive, or these flowers are alive, living energy, so they give off good chi, um, that also keeps you calm and grounded, right? So there's different things. So you want to utilize living things, and these crystals and gemstones also living. What did I do with them? Okay. So these gemstones are also living energy, and so that's how they're able to, calm your spirit and things like that. Calm your mind and body and spirit, because they also are living. So I like to keep a lot of living things around me, flowers, gemstones, and things like that. So yeah, so this stone right here is my favorite one. And like I said, I am decked out in it from head to toe. My earrings are rose quartz. My belly ring is even rose quartz. I'm not going to show you guys that. But I am decked. The only thing now, I was looking on Etsy for a anklet. So I also have this this bracelet that's rose quartz as well. So this, and ever since I've started wearing rose quartz jewelry, I've realized that really nothing phases me. Like, my spirit is so calm that I rarely get bothered by anything anymore. Like things that would upset me or agitate me now, it's like just rolls off. Like my spirit is just so calm. Like I'm almost scared about how calm I am. Like literally nothing bothers me anymore. Like I get a little agitated about something maybe for a second, and then I completely am like over it. Like things that would really agitate me. And this is so helpful, like in traffic. Like, I would just have road rage, and now it's just like, God bless them and just keep going. So it's like, definitely give rose quartz my favorite. Now, I said I had 3 gemstones, but I'm going to give you guys a bonus one. Now, are, these three are pink. Um, Rhodonite, pink. It comes in pink form. This one is like a mixture of pink, but it comes in pink form. This is like a tumbled stone. They're easier to get. Then rose quartz is the one I just talked about, and then rhodochrosite, right? So then I have another one. I really like this one as well. This one is Jade. Jade makes great jewelry, guys. If you were looking for crystal gemstones to wear, Jade makes some really pretty jewelry, especially like rings and necklaces and things like that. And this one is green, but I don't know if you guys have heard about chakras, but your heart chakra is actually green. So this is also a heart stone as well. And this stone keeps you. This is a heart stone, but this is also a prosperity stone because it's green and it brings you like abundance and things like that. But for the purpose of this, it's very useful. It keeps you young. Like it helps you have a young mentality, and not in an immature way. But as you age, a lot of times you get too serious about life, and you like are always thinking about your responsibilities, or always looking in the future. And this stone kind of helps you stay in the present and kind of think about just having fun, which is a very useful thing. And I want to tell you that femininity is about youth, being youthful and playful. It doesn't mean that as you get older, you're not feminine, but it means that you keep a playful spirit, right? So you're not always so serious about things. And also, playfulness balances out masculine energy because masculine energy is a very serious energy, right? It's very goal oriented, right? So the playfulness of a woman, men seek that out because it brings them back to the present reality, because men are very future oriented and they're always thinking about building a nest egg and growing and things like that. And they're pretty much always in their future, except when it comes to commitment, right? So they're more in the present when it comes to commitment. When it comes to providing and building a foundation, they're really very much future oriented. So when you're a woman and you have a very playful spirit, like you joke and you have fun and you're not afraid to laugh at yourself and you don't take everything seriously, and when he jokes, you laugh at his jokes, even if they're not so funny, and you like, you'll go outside and you'll like, if it's raining, you'll like play in the rain, and you're not a person afraid to get wet when you go swimming. And like if you were to see, these are just examples. Not saying you have to do any of these things, but these are examples of being playful as an adult, right? So, if you were to go outside and you like see kids jumping rope, like maybe jumping rope with them, if you got bad knees, maybe not doing that. But these are just examples of being playful, right? Being flirtatious is also a form of being playful. Not overly flirtatious where it seems like you're promiscuous, but to the point where you're lighthearted, right? You're like kind of teasing. So that's also a form of playfulness. So this gemstone helps you to embody youthfulness and playfulness, which are feminine characteristics, right? Um, and let me explain to you why that is. So if you realize in dating in men and women dynamics, um, women are usually seen as their most desired in their youth, right? And then men are seen as their most desired as they age, right? So, generally, like, younger women are looking for older men, and older men are looking for younger women, right? Because of men seem to be more mature and stable and able to provide as they get older, and then men look at women as they are more youthful for fertility reasons and things like that, and beauty and things like that. And that doesn't say that as you get older, men aren't going to be checking for you or you're not going to be beautiful. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, like, they want that youthfulness about you. So it's not really necessarily your age. You can be 50 and still be youthful. You can be 60 and still be youthful. Look at Angela Bassett. Like, she's 60 and she still has a very youthful appearance. And it's not just because she looks younger, but she's agile. She's very active still. She smiles and things like that. So she's youthful, and it's not just that she looks young. Being youthful is more than just looking younger than you are. I want to put that out there. Okay, so also Jade is a protective stone. It surrounds you with love and um, it's protected. So if you feel like can't trust. Like, it's these all these stones really connect to each other. This is a great four stones to get. So they really kind of feed off of each other's energy. So it surrounds your heart to protect you, and so you can realize you can trust again. Basically, the same thing as what Rhodonite does, pretty much. And then it's also a very lucky stone. The green is the color of luck, prosperity, money, things like that. So it's a very lucky stone too. So, if you're dating and things like that, it's a good stone to have when you go on your dates or when you're online and things like that, to just bring you luck of a good mate, um, matching with your soulmate and things like that. So it just has that very good luck charm energy. Um, okay, so that was the fourth bonus stone. So Jade, uh, rose quartz is this stone, and then Rhodonite is this one, and then Rhodochrosite is this one right here. So these are stones. Now, I'm going to tell you how to use those. So I talked about meditating with them, right? So basically what you would do is hold one in your hand, your receiving hand, which is usually whatever hand you write with, and you just quiet your mind. Now you can focus on whatever your issue is, like, I want to be peaceful, or peace, or um, love, like, I forgive myself, or I have compassion for others. Like, you can repeat an affirmation to yourself while you're holding a stone, right? And it will boost it. Or you can just meditate, which is just quieting your mind and just focusing on the energy that you feel in the stone, right? So also, probably the best way that I like to do it is to lay down and then put the stone, like, over your heart area, so that the energy will go directly to your heart. Um, and then just, like, be quiet. Basically, just be quiet, and just when thoughts come to your mind, just kind of push them away, and then just go back to trying to be quiet again, like, still. And then over time it'll get easier, and this whole process will keep you in a very calm spirit. And this is very true for women who feel like, I'm high strung, I'm anxious all the time, or you have a very masculine way about you, like you're over aggressive, or you're like super outgoing and um, extravagant, like that type of way, like you're just super outgoing, and you find that, like, it kind of turns people off sometimes. So what you need to do is kind of pull your energy back. So meditating is a good way to pull your energy back into yourself. And then when you do that, and then you embody these feminine stones, you focus on your feminine aspects, over time you realize that you will just naturally have a calm spirit. And people will want to be around you. People will be magnetized about you. Talk about feminine magnetism. People will just be magnetized to you, especially men. because your spirit is gentle and quiet and flowing, right? You're not resisting, you're not trying to force anything, you're just going with the flow, right? Okay, so that's pretty much my video on mixing feminine energy with spirituality, because they all coincide, and really anything that you have issue with on the outside is because there is a corresponding issue on the inside. So if you keep having issues with men and dating, or you feel like, okay, I want to get this feminine thing down, but I keep dealing with masculine energy, or I keep dealing with masculine women, or I myself am masculine, and I don't know how to control it. Um, don't look at the outside symptoms. Instead, one good way, there are plenty of different ways, but one good way that I found, and I'm just giving you guys something that works for me or has worked for me, is to get these gemstones and just focus on the energy that comes from it. Just repeat affirmations, or just do the meditation method where you're just completely quiet and you calm your mind. And you will realize over time that you will get a lot of inspiration, and sometimes you'll hear yourself say, let this go, forgive this person, let that go, maybe make amends with this person. Like over time you'll get in, your intuition, your spirit will talk back to you and help you to get into that spirit of compassion, forgiveness, and those type of things. And all of these energies are very feminine, because they're all about being in tune with your heart space, right, and being free flowing, right, and being open. So you want to have positive energy going in your heart, and you want to fill yourself with self-love so that you can attract that same love to you. Because if you're not full of self-love, you're only going to attract men who cannot love you, and they will not love you because you don't love you, they're not able to love you, and they also probably don't even love themselves, right? So since they don't love themselves, they're not able to give you love, and since you don't love yourself, you're not able to give them love. So you guys will connect on a superficial level of lust usually, and that's why you end up in a lot of casual relationships and sexual relationships, and it doesn't go any deeper than that. Okay, so hopefully this video shedded a little light into the spiritual side of femininity. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comments, or if you have any other gemstones that you're into that has helped you um, embody femininity, or that you feel are very feminine stones, because there are lots more, but I didn't want to make this a super long video. I have some more, but I think these are the ones that resonate with me most. But if you have some other ones that resonate with you, feel free to talk about them in the comments. Or if you've tried any of these and you have an experience, or if you tried after watching this video, definitely let me know your experience. And